Ford said they'd sell 400,000 electric Mustangs by 2023, but they managed just 24,719. That's a 94% miss rate. Did you know Ford lost $4.5 billion on electric vehicles last year alone? Yes, that's true. But what's going on, and why is this EV meltdown happening? In this video, we will discover what went wrong for Ford in the electric vehicle industry and how it all turned out. Stay tuned for an eye-opening analysis that goes beyond the headlines, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel first. Ford, a major player in the car game, took a leap into the EV industry, thinking it'd be a game changer. Jim Farley, the head honcho, had this grand vision of EVs ruling the roads, but alas, reality threw a curveball. Let's get into why Ford's navigating through this rough EV terrain, and believe me, it's just the tip of the iceberg. So reason number uno, the EV hype train stalls. A while back, everyone was on the EV bandwagon thinking these electric wonders were the future. Well, it turns out that the average Joe isn't too quick to swap their trusty gas guzzler for an EV. Why, you ask? Simple. They're savvy spenders in EVs. They've got their quirks. See, the infrastructure for EVs is like a patchy road. Not exactly smooth, and people are starting to realize that. Add in worries about batteries giving up the ghost too soon, and you've got a hesitant consumer base. Now things get even trickier when it comes to heavy-duty trucks like the F150 Lightning. Load them up and their mileage takes a deep dive. It's not exactly ideal for hauling stuff around, right? And let's not forget the Lightning's hefty price tag. Wallets stayed shut, and interest among potential buyers plummeted. The EV dream isn't as sweet when it comes with a hefty price and some practical headaches. Despite throwing discounts left and right, Ford's Lightning hasn't exactly been the shining star in the showroom. To put it bluntly, slashing prices didn't do the trick. Just look at the numbers. Ford only managed to unload 39% of its Lightning inventory in the first month. Now, compare that to the solid 70% they moved in the same month last year, right? It's like they turned down the volume on the Lightning's appeal. Why the sluggish sales? Well, the Lightning has its limitations, especially for those people who put their trucks through the ringer with heavy-duty tasks. It's not exactly winning over the workhorse crowd. And it's not just Ford feeling the pinch, the whole market's caught in a bit of a jam. Instead of jumping on the Lightning bandwagon, buyers are eyeing other models that promise more bang for their buck. Now let's talk about Ford's tough decisions. In October 2023, Ford was staring down a financial cliff. To keep bankruptcy at bay, they had to make some tough calls. About 700 Ford F-150 Lightning production lines in Michigan employees got the pink slip. Yeah, it's not exactly good news. The production gears also shifted from 3 shifts to just 2. It's like Ford hit the brakes hard. If Lightning sales don't pick up soon, rumors are the more layoffs might be on the horizon. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but sometimes companies like Ford have to make these moves to avoid drowning in financial troubles. On a brighter note, those skilled workers who bid Ford farewell are like hotcakes in the auto industry job market. The competition is eyeing them up, so finding new gigs shouldn't be nerve-wracking. Having a set of skills is like having a golden ticket to opportunities. Now let's discuss another reason for Ford's EV meltdown. Ford's $4.5 billion hurdle. They took a massive hit, a $4.5 billion loss in 2023 alone on electric cars. That's more than double the $2.1 billion loss they faced in 2022, and the financial weight is getting heavier. Ford initially thought they'd be in the red for around $3 billion in 2023, but reality had other plans, slapping them with an extra $1.5 billion loss. It's not just about slow sales. Ford's been throwing heaps of cash into the EV sector, developing electric powertrains and batteries. Despite the setbacks, Ford CEO is still wearing rose-colored glasses, saying EV adoption might be a tad slower than expected in the short term. However, the market vibe is different. The public isn't going all in for electric cars like the big shots anticipated. If Ford keeps pushing for an EV-dominated future, they could be sailing towards bankruptcy, a fate they've managed to dodge. Yet with their traditional models still raking in the moolah, Ford CEO doubles down on his electric dreams, even with a slight market reality check. And here's another reason Ford pulls back on $12 billion EV investment. As consumers become more picky about their investments, EVs lose their appeal as desirable purchases. Because of this change in how people act, Ford had to stop their huge $12 billion plan to invest in electric vehicles. A big part of this ambitious plan was to make technology advances and build a big factory for EV batteries in Kentucky. However, Ford has put this massive investment on hold because there isn't much demand for their electric cars. It doesn't look like they'll go through with it unless they're ready to play a risky game where they could go bankrupt and lose $1 billion. With these problems, Ford might need to change its plan. In the future, people might buy hybrid cars or look into RV types, similar to what Ram did with its new Ram Charger. This new model uses the internal combustion engine to make electricity, which solves one of the main problems the F150 Lightning has. The battery dies when it's loaded down. Another aspect of Ford's electric journey that needs to be explored is tough selling. We've already mentioned that Ford's electric vehicles are piling up at dealerships nationwide. When compared to other Ford models, these sit on the lot for longer before a customer comes along. Dealers are dealing with an excess of these automobiles since Ford's production capacity is outpacing demand. Looking at the Mach-E inventory will give us some insight. About 87% of the Mach-E stock dealers had in 2022 were sold in the first 30 days. Nevertheless, sales dropped in 2023 with only 27.7% of the scenario sold during that time. Despite the considerably more challenging market conditions in 2022, the F150 Lightning sold 70% of its inventory in just 30 days. In contrast, this number plummeted to 39% in 2023. Ford is in the midst of a horrible situation. Reevaluating their production plan is necessary to prevent additional financial losses. There is an important possibility of incurring further losses if production of these electric vehicles is maintained at the present pace. According to current market patterns, Ford should halt production of these vehicles until demand increases. Moreover, dealers from coast to coast aren't thrilled with Ford's electric vehicles. One dealer expressed sheer frustration blaming Ford's miscalculations for an overwhelming surplus of unsold Lightning and Mach-E models. Ford usually sends vehicles to dealers based on what the market wants and each dealer's needs. But dealers are accusing Ford of violating franchise laws in how they allocate EVs. One dealer had to turn down both F-150 Lightning and Mach-E models because there just wasn't enough demand. Dealers are pretty miffed about Ford's handling of the growing pile of unsold EVs. They're calling for Ford to look at how they're making these cars to match better what people want to buy. Another reason is the impact of rising labor costs on Ford's bottom line. You might have heard about the United Auto Workers strike, where workers pushed for more in their paychecks. This strike hit Ford where it hurts, in the pocketbook. The increased labor demands caused a surge in production expenses, chipping away Ford's profitability. Thanks to the agreed-upon contract between Ford and the workers, the company expects labor costs to tack on an extra $850 to $900 for each vehicle. Sure, these numbers might not sound like a big deal at first, but it's yet another jab at during their current crisis. Managing finances is crucial for Ford right now if they want to avoid a financial fiasco. The main reason Ford's EV sales are falling is that the company cut the price of its F-150 Lightning. Ford is having a hard time because demand is going down and buyers aren't very interested. In October, they did something very risky. They cut the price of the F-150 Lightning by $10,000. Think about this. The price dropped from $59,974 to $49,995. A big deal meant to get rid of their huge Lightning stock. But even though these cars are losing money, people who work in the company think prices will drop even more in 2024. Wait for it, the price of a brand new Lightning could drop as low as $45,000. Ford has many challenges ahead, and if they keep making these EVs, things could get worse. So what do you think about Ford's future? Will prices continue to be dropping? And so would Ford's fortune? Or will it rise in the EV market once again? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to catch the hottest vehicle updates and upcoming videos. See you in the next video.